welcome back to another episode of Combat Step. We are about to proceed to combat, but before we move phases, please like and let us know in the comments which deck you're cheering for. Deck lists are in the description below. Before we delve into the depths of the multiverse, continue supporting our channel in its quest to bring you more thrilling content. By becoming a patron supporter, you'll gain access to exclusive perks and help us continue to create top-notch videos. Be sure to Don't forget to follow us on social media and stay updated on the latest news, deck techs, and community discussions. And of course, make sure to subscribe to our channel to join the ever-growing community of fellow Planeswalkers. With your support, we'll continue to explore the boundless possibilities of Magic the Gathering together.
Pre-games?
Yes. I have a gemstone, and I'll pitch a Sink into Stupor.
Alright. You're off a turn. I'm going to play Scalding Tarn. I'm going to crack that for a Tundra and pass the turn.
I'll draw for turn. I'll play Polluted Delta as land for turn. Play a Chromox. Chromox is all set. I'm going to exile a Spellseeker to it, and I'm going to fetch with the Polluted Delta to get a Tundra red-green. And I'll shortcut if that's alright with you guys. I'll take a blue.
Sure.
One and one with a Spirit Guide. Or a Rhystic Study.
I'll respond to Rhystic. I'm going to tap one white for an Enlightened Tutor. I'm getting Mystic Remora. I'm going to put that on top.
I'll pass turn.
Keep draw. You play a Isolated Chapel. It'll come in tapped. And I will go ahead and play this Lotus Petal. I cannot pay for the Rhystic, yeah.
Alright, I'll draw.
And that's it for my turn. I will just be passing.
I will draw. I'll play a Morphic Pool, and then I will tap for one to play a 4th Bridge Prowler, and I'll pay for Rhystic. And I'll pass.
I'll tap upkeep, draw. Going to play a Vernic Catacombs. And I'll crack it for a Underground Sea. If you don't mind me fast forwarding, I will tap the Underground Sea for the Remora, paying for Rhystic with Tundra. I will pass after that.
I will untap. Upkeep, draw. I'll play a Mana Confluence as land for turn. Tap for a blue, a red, and a green. Losing a life to play Animar. I'll go ahead and pass my turn.
Tap, keep draw. Crack this for black, tap here for white. Play a Lotho.
Is there Rhystic on the Lotho?
I cannot pay.
I'll draw.
If Lotho's good, I'm just passing.
And tap upkeep and draw. Go to combat, and I'll send a 4th Bridge Prowler, I suppose, at Lord Loompa, since you don't presently have a blocker.
Okay, how much?
It's gonna be 1 because I'm gonna Ninjutsu and Yuriko.
Okay.
Yuriko trigger. Any response?
Nope.
No response.
Top card is a Flooded Strand, which then I will play and pass the turn after that.
Untap. I will pay for fish. Draw. Yeah, I'll shock in a Watery Grave. Yeah, I'll tap 2 for a Mind Crank.
Okay, and you are paying for Rhystic on that?
No, I have to draw.
I will draw.
If there's no responses, I'll be passing.
I will untap, upkeep, and draw for turn. I'll play a Misty Rainforest as land for turn. And I'm going to crack it to go get a Tropical Island. Losing a life, putting 1 card from the top in my grave, putting a Mox Amber in. I would like to attempt to cast a Bloom Tender. Cast, I'll have a 1/1 trigger. I think I'll just go to combat and swing 2 over at Yuriko.
I have no blocks, I take 2, and then Mind Crank I have to mill 2.
Yes.
I'll respond to the Mind Crank trigger, and I'll go ahead and fetch first. Getting the Surveil land.
for that.
Okay, the top card for that is a Fairy Seer.
Yeah, it's
then
puts.
Script Veil first. That can stay, and then Street Wraith going in, and Prismatic Vista going in.
I'm gonna pass my turn after that.
Let's see if we draw land. Oh, we did. We will go ahead and shock ourselves for a Godless Shrine. And Miltu, right? Tithe and an Urza Saga. Play this Phyrexian Furnace. Not paying either of the Mystic Remora or the... Then I'll cast a Sarah Ascendant, which will give me a Lotho trigger, and I cannot pay for the Ristic still.
Okay. I will draw on the Ristic trigger.
Okay, Lotho, I'll have to mill one for losing my life. It's a Mana Vault. And then after that, I am passing.
Okay, I have a response on your end step. When we go to your end step, I'm gonna take a damage to the Mana Confluence to float mana, milling a Walking Ballista. Ouch. And I'm gonna besiege you, targeting the Mind Crank.
I will fail to find.
I'll go to my turn. Draw. I suppose I will go ahead and go to combat with Yuriko over at Lord Loompa for 1.
Sure.
Alright. Any response to Yuriko's trigger?
No
Nope.
responses for me.
We got a Fell the Profane for 4. So the entire table takes 4. Loompa took 5. I am going to play it for land, taking 3 life for doing that. And then I'm going to tap for 4. Yeah, I guess I'll play a Mox Amber, not paying for the things.
Alright. Draw.
And then I'll use the 4 to play a Shieldred.
Oh. I will have a Lotho trigger.
Yes.
And I'll have a Ristic.
And I have no response to any of the things, so go for it.
Yeah, I'll lose my life. Like a treasure.
I'll tap the Mox Amber for black to replay the 4th Bridge Prowler. I cannot pay for Ristic.
Okay, I will draw.
And then, is there even... I guess I can hit the Bloom Tender.
Bloom Tender or Lotho. They're both. We'll have one.
Lotho's probably more valuable
Yeah,
here.
let's get rid of the Lotho.
A lot of treasures.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pass the turn.
Untap. We will not pay for fish. Draw for turn.
Lose 2 from Shieldred's trigger.
2.
That's painful. I really don't like that.
I will have to shock in a Godless Shrine.
Keep taking that life.
Life totals really matter here.
It's a resource, it's fine. All that matters is the last one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tap out for Y'shtola.
Sure.
I'll have a Ristic trigger on that.
You can draw.
I will.
Shieldred trigger on your draw. Have lost 4 life this turn, so I'll move to my end step and draw a card off Y'shtola.
And you'll lose another 2 life.
Yes, I will.
This is gonna be great with Ristic Steady out. Maybe that'll make him rethink some of those Ristic draws.
Perhaps. I'll go to my untap. Upkeep, draw.
Did you lose your 2 life for drawing?
I will now. I'm gonna play a Flooded Strands, pay a life, and crack it to go get a Volcanic Island. Tap for a green mana to play a Wall of Roots. +1/+1 counter on cast, and now Wall of Roots in the stack. I'll tap the Volc Island for a blue to evoke a Null Drifter. On cast, I'll get a +1/+1 counter. Cool. When it enters, I'll draw 2 cards.
And you'll lose 4 life.
4 life. Painfully so. Then it will die because it was evoked. I'll tap for a green to play a Sowing Microspawn. I'm not going to be kicking it. This says when I cast this spell, search my library for a land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. Then if it was kicked, I'd exile target land. On cast, this will go to a +4/+4, and if that resolves, I'm going to get a Guy's Cradle onto the field. Now I'm going to tap for a red, a green, and a blue with the Bloom Tender. And I'll tap the Mox for another blue. And I will float a red mana. I'm going to try to cast a Hullbreaker Horror.
Oh. Yes,
On cast, I'll get a +5/+5.
That's so bad.
Okay, I'll tap the Mana Confluence, taking a damage for a blue mana. With the red still floating, I'll play a Perjurer and Drake. Trigger on the Hullbreaker, trigger on Animar. I'll do Animar trigger.
Trigger's on the stack. Yep. Hold up. So that gives him infinite mana because of.
I suppose holding priority. I'll activate Guy's Cradle.
I will respond. I'm not sure how important it's going to be, but I will attempt to submerge Hullbreaker Horror.
There's a Rhystic trigger on the submerge.
I cannot pay for a Rhystic, so if you want to.
Okay. I will draw and shock myself. For 3 green, tapping 3 creatures to convoke Court of Calling on 4. A Hullbreaker Horror trigger on the cast of this. I guess I'm going to just get rid of the Shieldred while I've got priority.
Shieldred is back in my hand.
I'll respond to Cord. I will show you a Fierce Guardianship.
Okay, I have a Rhystic Study trigger.
Use Chola and Rhystic Study. I can't pay.
Court of Calling will get countered, so Cord's off the stack, Fierce is off the stack, Shieldred is in hand. I have a Animar trigger on the Perjurer and Drake.
The Hullbreaker Horror.
The Submerge.
The Submerge is on top of all your triggers, bouncing.
Yes, so Submerge can resolve. Hullbreaker on top.
Okay.
And then we're back on triggers. I'm going to have the +1/+1 trigger on Animar, and then I'm going to do the Hullbreaker trigger. We'll go to +6/+6. Hullbreaker trigger targeting Chromox.
Yep.
If that resolves, I'm going to untap 5 target lands.
Yep.
Play the Chromox. On the Chromox, I'm going to be exiling a Polywog Prodigy. I'm going to tap the Trop for a blue. I have a green floating from the Guy's Cradle that I'll pay to play Tishana, Voice of Thunder. This says you have no maximum hand size. When it ETBs, draw a card for each creature you control.
It's all good.
+1/+1, and then Tishana on the stack. I have 6 creatures on the field. I'll play Lotus Petal. I will tap the Chromox for a blue, tap the Volk for a blue, recast the Hullbreaker Horror.
No
+1/+1. I'll play an Oblivion Sower for free. Trigger on Animar, trigger on Hullbreaker. I also have an Oblivion Sower. I'm going to resolve Hullbreaker and then Oblivion Sower, because Oblivion Sower is a cast trigger. So Hullbreaker is going to bounce the Perjurer and Drake.
I will respond to the cast of Oblivion
Okay, sure.
after the Hullbreaker.
Okay, so you want me to bounce the Perjurer in?
Yes.
Okay. Then Oblivion Sower cast trigger on the stack.
I will play a Deadly Relic targeting the Hullbreaker. You each lose 2, I gain 2.
Okay, sure. Deadly Relic goes off. I have a Rhystic trigger on the Deadly Relic. I'm probably still good on letting that resolve, but Rhystic.
Yeah. Rhystic, you draw first.
And then I'm good to let that resolve. One of my green floating, I'll play a Tinderwall. I'll play a Mox Diamond, pitching a Tarnished Citadel. Tap Guy's Cradle for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I'll go up to 8 floating. And then for 3 of that, going to 5 green floating, I'll play a Disciple of Freyalise. Disciple of Freyalise on the stack, I will have an Animar trigger. Okay, when Disciple ETBs, I'm going to sacrifice Tishana, who currently has a power of 6, because I have 6 cards in hand. And then if I sacrifice another creature, I gain 6 life and draw 6 cards. I'll gain 6, go to 23, and draw 6 cards. I'm going to tap for a blue with the Mox Diamond to replay the Perjurer and Drake. I'm going to float a mana in response to that. I'll float a second red, and then I'll have all of these on top.
Is this game if he doesn't have interaction?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have interaction?
I don't have any free interaction.
Okay, so I guess if none of us have interaction, if you just want to
I'll
present
show
the
you.
loop or
I'll show
whatever it
you the
is.
win. So I'll pay 1 of my green, going to 5 green floating, to play a Skullwinder. I'm gonna target someone with a Nothing Burger in graveyard, probably Noved Prime. I'm gonna get the Walking Ballista to my hands, and then I have a Survival of the Fittest in my hands to tutor out the Ancestral Statue.
And then
I'm gonna
there you
loop the
go.
Ancestral Statue infinitely until I can cast a Walking Ballista to kill the table.
Yeah. Okay, do it.
Got it. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming content.